Well, you often hear it before the start of every tournament that if Ronnie's playing well, the others are in trouble. Steve, he is playing well, judged by that UK Championship.
Yes, he is, and also, as he proved in that last tournament, that he didn't just win from in front, he had to sort of graft sometimes, and that's important. You don't always win magnificently. A different tournament, the start of a new tournament, you then have to re-establish that you're playing well. It doesn't necessarily follow that you're going to continue, but when you look at the stats of Ronnie O'Sullivan, how he's producing the goods regularly at the moment, you've got to fancy he's going to come out and play pretty decent stuff.
JP, you mentioned earlier in the programme that being so close to home, Ronnie able to sleep in his own bed is a huge bonus for him.
Absolutely, and he's very relaxed. I think his demeanour was terrific in the last tournament as well. Felt very relaxed himself, doing interviews and chatting away to people, and his game came through because of that. I think I compare him a lot of the times with Tiger Woods because we're talking at the same level. Yeah. When the two of them play at their best, they're better than everybody, and he knows that, and the other players know that. Let's not get away from it. It's just a matter, he can't always produce it, but when he does, he's pretty special.
Which are the players that can stop him, Steve?
Well, I think I've sort of got on record this season as saying John Higgins is the only person I think who can outplay Ronnie O'Sullivan when Ronnie O'Sullivan's playing at his best at the moment. But there are so many good players, and we're talking about degrees of how good somebody is. In a best of 11 match against the likes of Steve Maguire, who is a great player, we're not talking about a foregone conclusion at all. But if Ronnie plays and fires on at least half of the cylinders, it can be a tough day for the opposition.
OK, well, we're getting ready for a repeat of the UK Championship final. Ronnie O'Sullivan against Stephen Walker. Let's join our Master of Ceremonies, Rob Walker, to introduce the players in front of a packed audience here at the Wembley Arena.
Behind it.
Ladies and gentlemen, we have a fantastic match here on day one at Wembley. Let's get the players out without any further ado. Introducing first of all, the former UK champion, the 2007 Northern Ireland Trophy winner. He's the pride of Scotland, Stephen "On Fire" Maguire.
So well, Stephen. Good job.
And now, hold your breath for the coming of a snooker genius, the two-time world champion, the four-time UK champion, defending his Wembley title. Blink and you'll miss him. It's the Rocket, Ronnie O'Sullivan.
Very well, Ronnie. Have a good game.
Well, from the sounds of it, I think Ronnie might have one or two supporters in the crowd. I wonder who they're supporting. Ronnie O'Sullivan against Stephen Maguire. It could be a cracker. Let's join Willie Thorne and Dennis Taylor for commentary.
Thank you very much, Risha. Well, what a reception for Ronnie O'Sullivan. Always been that way at Wembley. You get Ronnie, Jimmy White.
Thank you. The first frame, Ronnie O'Sullivan to break.
Ronnie preparing to break off left-handed, as he did throughout the UK Championship. He will start this match a firm favourite, but it's not always the case, Willie. It's another day, and snooker's like that. Stephen Maguire could quite easily do to Ronnie what Ronnie did to him in the UK, but we shall see.
Yes, it was nice to hear his pre-match interview suggesting that he's put that behind him very quickly, had an enjoyable time with Christmas, and now he knows it's the start of a new year and he has to do better, and he knows he's going to have to do better. He wasn't at his awesome best, Ronnie O'Sullivan, during the UK Championship, and John Parrott mentioned pre-match there that a lot of the matches he had to play from behind, and and stay in there, and that's something, a part of his game he wasn't able to do a few years ago. He's learning how to win when not playing at his best, and that makes him an even tougher opponent to beat.
Yeah, I think he proved throughout the UK Championship how good a tactical player he is. It's not all about making breaks and maximums. Amazing, he's equalled Stephen Hendry's record of 8 maximum breaks in tournament play. And there's an indication of his very good tactical game. Almost a snooker. In fact, it might be a snooker on all 15 reds. So it's just off the side cushion to nestle onto the red. This nearest the cushion. Not much of that sticking out. Got to be a bit careful. He's got to get this just right, otherwise he could leave one on here. He may have left a pot on if he just lands on this. No. Okay.
Second ball.
Good judge of pace, considering he's not had any table time as yet, and to find the top cushion shows he's got the pace of the table very quickly.
Not the best safety shot this time. He's left that red for the right corner. Problem is the cue ball though. There's no guarantee to get on a colour from this position. He's going to cannon into the black or certainly a couple of the reds, so the white could go anywhere. He's just looking at the angle of the red. He's got to make sure he pots this because he's certainly going to disturb things. You'll need a little bit of good fortune to finish on a colour here.
One.
Well, it is a long straight pink. If this pink goes in, he could give himself a very good opportunity here.
Yes, good putt this, and I think he's got an angle on this red. He can either play the little stun onto the pink with a cue ball here to hold for black or pink. The one at the bottom of the bunch will pot. Whether he can hold for the black off that one, I don't know, but he'd need the rest for this one. The cannon's definitely the best choice if he can get the rest out.
Yeah, that's the shot that Billy was talking about, a delicate little screw shot, pot the red and just cannon the pink towards the pocket, and the black's available into the opposite corner. So if he judges this correctly, he'll be in pretty good shape.
Eight.
Obviously now the black will go back onto its spot, and he's pushed the pink far enough out of the way to make all reds virtually pottable now, so that's a clever little shot he played there. Can't quite tell from here whether the two reds above the black both pot. Obviously the top one will. Yeah, the top one of the two does, but the one nearest the black doesn't. So that's what he's trying to get on. And he's on it.
$15.
It must be a little bit tight, that. He's having a long, hard look at it. It must be very tight indeed. And it's a long way from the red to play it with a little bit of side, just to take the other red out of play, as it were. If he was closer to it, he could play it with a little touch of side just to bend it around the red, but too far away from it. So it's the long one into the right corner pocket, which is not straightforward, it's just off straight, so not easy to judge when you're this close to them. No, never easy those. He didn't even get in the jaws of the pocket.
15.
Well, I was surprised he didn't hit the jaws. As Dennis mentioned, they are hard when the pocket's not in your eye line, but for somebody of Stephen's class, you'd expect him to catch the jaws there. But it is first frame. Neither player yet has settled.
One.
I think it's more important for Stephen Maguire to get off to a good start after that 10-2 drubbing he had in the UK final. If he can get the first frame or first couple of frames under his belt, then his whole thinking will be completely different. But if Ronnie gets off to a good start here, well, it might just be a continuation of that final.
Ronnie tried to get onto the top red of two, as did Stephen Maguire on his previous visit. He was able to play the long ball. Now can he get onto the top red of the two this time? The angle on the black is not good, because he's going to have to probably screw on and off the cushion to get onto that top red. It's all about that red. Once that red disappears, he has a chance of making this into a chance of possibly winning the frame. It's all about those two reds just to the right of the black at the moment.
16. $17.
This is the first day here this year at the Wembley Arena, and
24.
what a great match to kick things off.
25.
Virtually a full house here on day one. It's the second year we've been in the arena. It was always at the conference centre that no longer exists. And this is the one tournament that all professional snooker players love to win. One table situation.
32.
Best players in the world from the first round, the top 14.
33.
That's a wild card, and then the winner of a tournament that involves quite a number of players. So this really is a bit special to win.
Just lost the cue ball slightly there. He played for the red to the right of the black.
40.
It's just come off the cushion a little bit too far for that. There's a couple of alternatives, none of which are quite as easy as that one. He's looking at a possible plant, but they'd have to be virtually asserting to play that.
That'll be a bit of a bonus if the plant is on, because the rest are all a bit tricky, as you can see.
41.
Still okay. There's another one available into the left centre pocket.
48. Ronnie Sullivan, 48.
Didn't expect him to miss that, and neither did any of this packed audience. He was hampered a little bit there, just a few distractions with his bridge hand.
Yes, Ronnie didn't cue that very smoothly at all. It's unlike O'Sullivan to not go through the ball nicely, but there's a lot of movement on the shot there. So a second chance for Stephen Maguire, even though he's some 32 points behind as we speak. It's not beyond the realms of possibility he'll win the frame at this visit. The ball's in a nice position.
Eight. Nine.
Best of 11. These first round matches. Most tournaments are the best of 9. But I really do think it's so important for Stephen Maguire to
16.
get an early frame on the board just to settle him down.
Seventeen.
Won't be worrying at all about the pink at the moment. He can get these remaining 4 reds and blacks and won't have to worry about the pink. The frame will be over should he get down to that colour.
$24. 25.
Might just play for one of the difficult reds, the one to the right of the two that's on the cushion. If he leaves the white somewhere near the black, as he can just roll that in. He's got the easy one near the pink spot, but he needs to get that one to the right out of the way, and there's no better chance than the position he has now to play for it. And that looks to be just about perfect. It opens the path for the other red, as you can see.
32.
So it was key that he did remove this one.
33.
Mustn't be straight on this red because it's no good really telling where the last red will be. Doesn't really want to have to play the pink to get onto that red, so he needs an angle on this red to be able to get onto the black again. He's got the angle now.
This is a tricky little one along the cushion.
40.
Now the blue's going to be a slight problem because it's in the way of, you normally would play it to leave yourself on the yellow, and the blue's just slightly in the way, so he may play to go up for one of the baulk colours off the last red. He's underhit that. He was hoping to leave an easy red into the left centre
48.
pocket. In fact, a little bit further up the table with the white, he could have rolled the red in and possibly played down towards the green to leave the blue into the middle pocket, and then it would have been easy to get onto the yellow. So he had to take it into the corner pocket, and this is where the slight problem might arise. He's got to be very precise with the white here. Otherwise he could snooker himself with that blue. So key shot to the frame coming up. That's nowhere with the white. Not sure what he just mishit that one.
56.
Don't know whether he got a bit of a bad contact, but because he was expecting the white to come down towards the blue there, scratching his head, so maybe he did get a slight kick. Now, he seemed to be playing it with a little touch of right hand side, but that came back down the table as if he didn't play it with any side at all.
Got out of the snooker nicely though. Left plenty of distance between cue ball and object ball, and where the yellow's finished. Okay, the yellow's on, but he'll do well to avoid the cannon on the black, so he may not even take the yellow on. Not too sure whether he can get into the cue ball enough to avoid the cannon here. Yes, it wasn't on, so he had to play the safety.
Needs the yellow and the green. No attempt at the pot. Don't blame him there. I think you can see enough of this, and the yellow has come off the cushion, so it will sneak in. Brown's a little bit awkward. If Ronnie should manage to pot this yellow and get on the green. Well, that's not a bad angle, but he's going to have to play it with the rest, but there is a way around onto the brown here. That's the shot he can play. Somewhere near those lines will take him off a couple of cushions, and if he could drop anywhere near the end of the line, he'd be absolutely perfect. Well, he underhit it as well.
Ronnie Sullivan 2.
Bit fortunate with the outcome, though.
I should say so. Goodness me, missed that by a long way, didn't he? That's the reason the white pulled up short, because he hit it too thick. But very fortunate. Stephen needs to hit. There's two cushions. They're trying to get him right in behind the green to leave the white where the green is. Oh, decided to play the roll up, and never really liked that shot because it puts yourself in trouble, really. Such an easy safety shot for your opponent normally.
He's just a wee bit too close to the green there. He was going to send the green up towards the black, leave the white there, but he's too close to it, I think, to do that. So it's a very thin snick required.
Yeah, with players of this class, it's obvious you need to leave plenty of distance between cue ball and object ball when you can to make the next safety shot difficult. This is not a particularly difficult safety shot for Ronnie.
Yeah, he still could manage that shot. It definitely was the best shot to play, but he seemed to be a bit close to it, but he played it well.
This time Ronnie is a little bit unfortunate to get the little flick, because it means that the swerve shot is now on.
Might work to his advantage though, Willie, because you're never sure where the green's going to go, so Stephen could swerve this and stick the green up.
Might be one of those where he plays the slowest swerve. He's looking at the one cushion escape. Now it helps the fact where the pink is now. It means that if he pushes the green towards the pink, it won't pot, but he's going to be in a situation where he's leaving Ronnie another very, very easy safety shot unless he leaves it within half an inch or so of the green.
It's one of those situations where you've got to just take the risk, play the swerve shot, and well, he's a bit reluctant to do that. And just, you know, hope for the best. Got to be very precise with this one. Might be in trouble though. As Willie mentioned, that was the only problem with playing that type of shot. And Ronnie's got him bang in trouble now. There's no escape off one cushion to try and pot the green. I think he'd have been better playing the little swerve shot previously, Willie, and hoping for the best.
Absolutely.
He really is in trouble now.
I'm just looking at that comment you made there. There's no escape one cushion. I can't see an escape two. Could you? It's a tough one, this.
Well, he can't get between the pink and black, I don't think. He's so close to the pink. There is a possible escape shot, but I mean, it's so difficult to judge. See, if he could see enough of it, but to judge a shot like the one I've put up there is so difficult, you know, from the angle he's sitting at. So he really is in trouble here.
So it's either the left-hand side to play two cushions with the right-hand side, or the right-hand side cushions to play two cushions. Either way, I don't think you can hit it one. This is a tough one. Do very well to get away with this.
Tell you what, that was nearly a fantastic escape there, because he's playing this into the jaws of the pocket to try and wriggle it in the jaws and just go on to the green, and he wasn't far away from it. I mean, if he can pull this off, it's a terrific shot, Willie, isn't it? I mean,
Matter of fact, Dennis, I didn't even realise what he was doing until he played it, and it was a great effort, and a fraction harder it would have taken that shot on.
Thank you.
that could be in the pocket this time, is it? No, a little bit harder, and he's got it, you know. Well played. What a shot. Yes. It's always been the case, really, with this crowd at Wembley. If you produce the goods or play a good shot, you'll get the response from them, and they really responded to that escape there.
Well, all the years we've commentated on snooker, and I've been commentating now for 15, 20 years, I don't think I've ever seen that shot played like that. That was a great shot, and it could have won in the frame.
This really was a bit special. Only enough room to go past the pink, hit the jaws. Terrific. Now he's looking at the angle here. He's got to get the white. I put a line up when Ronnie was playing the green. He's got to get in behind the brown, and he's got to go down past the blue and back up again. How's the pace on the white? He's
3.
going to land a bit too close to the brown, I feel. Chance of a snooker though in behind the pink here, a little thin one. He's looking at the potting angle. Maybe he can take the pot on, but he looks a bit close to it. I'd be getting in behind the pink here.
Yes, big advantage the fact that he will be pushing the brown safe as well. He's 20 points in front. So of course if he gets Ronnie to miss the snooker, that'll be just as good as potting the brown. It'll be 24 on it with 22 on. So he's played the right choice there, I think.
Foul. Stephen Maguire 4.
Not quite enough swerve. He was planning to just flick the brown. So Ronnie now needing one snooker. Putting him back in to play from where they finished. One of his options.
I was so surprised he put him back in there, because that shot was on, and if he'd have tucked it in behind the black, he was only a couple of inches away from doing so. Okay, he's got second choice, the one behind the blue, but the white in behind the black would have been a very tough snooker to hit. At this stage, Dan, what makes you mind up whether you should maybe pot brown and blue and have that one good chance from pink in behind the black?
Well, this is exactly what he's thinking about doing, really. It limits your options. It's always tough. You maybe only get the one chance to get a good snooker, but there's where he'd love to put the cue ball and send the pink back up the table and get the snooker behind the black. And as I say, that's his plan at the moment, so he's got to get the white exactly where he wants it, and that's not exactly where he wanted it.
No.
Further to the right would have been better. He can still play the snooker, but he's having to play this with a lot of side to just hold behind the black.
Ronnie Sullivan 9.
Well, it's the snooker, but quite easy to swerve. And if he does swerve around the black, there's a possibility he could snick the pink into the middle pocket. But he's got to hit it though. Oh, I tell you, that's almost within the middle pocket. He just over swerved that. That's why he's smiling. But this is a chance to get in behind the black. This has got a chance. Too hard. Yeah, he did well to keep the pink out of the pocket there, but it's the end of frame. And a very entertaining opening frame.
6 on the first frame.
Ronnie O'Sullivan had a break of 48, but that 56 by Stephen Maguire helped him on his way to taking this very important opening frame. He leads 1-0.
Well, it's early days in this match between Stephen Maguire and Ronnie O'Sullivan, but Stephen Maguire has made a great start. And first of all, JP, what about that shot that he produced to get off the snooker on the green?
Well, one of the best shots I've seen in a long time, Rishi, and to be honest with you, it'll probably be as good as any shot we'll see tactically in this tournament this week. I mean, to be in a position he was in, to play it with a little bit of side, take it round the back of the cushion and then come off the angles and come back to the green. fantastic, absolutely fantastic.
Steve, I bet you were impressed.
Yes, because you were looking around the table thinking, well, he's more or less got to hit this green off a couple of cushions down the bottom of the table, otherwise he sacrifices the frame to Ronnie O'Sullivan. Using the jaws of the pocket, not usually in that way. Sometimes a player will try and wobble the jaws and go across the whole of the table to try and do something, but quite inventive, that shot. And Steve Maguire, obviously a very great tactician. Good frame as well, that was. No massive breaks, but I thought a very high standard. Lots of good quality shots to play just to win one frame, but psychological advantage goes very firmly to Steve Maguire.
It is psychological advantage to Stephen Maguire, JP, but it's early days. However, having been beaten so badly by Ronnie in the UK Championships, it must be a great confidence boost.
Absolutely, but you know, back in 2004 when Maguire was really buzzing, these two were involved in one of the best matches I've ever seen, and if Maguire produces his best and O'Sullivan produces his best, we might see something similar. Ronnie's
tough to beat here, though. He will be tough to beat at this venue.
Okay, well, we're going to go back to our commentators, Willie and Dennis, but I've got a question for you both. Ronnie O'Sullivan in 1994 lost in the wildcard round. Willie, do you know who it was to?
I would imagine it was me, I would think. I've no idea. Did he? I don't know. Do you know, Dennis?
I think it might have been you, Willie.
Well, actually, it wasn't you, Willie. It was your co-commentator.
Was it me, Rishi? Oh, that was just another one of those wins that I forgot about.
A bit like the 1985 World Championship, Dennis. I haven't mentioned that today yet.
And believe it or not, for the opening day here at the Masters, the Saga Masters, we've got 1,800 people in the audience. Now that's not a bad turnout. I remember that match against Ronnie. There was 2,500 in here, Willie. It was Ronnie's first appearance at Wembley, and it was a bit special. I did play quite well, as it turned out.
Yeah, two good friends of mine would love to be here today. Unfortunately, they're at the Queen's Medical Hospital in Burton-on-Trent, both suffering a little bit at the moment. So Ken and Phil, I know you'll be watching this match live. Hopefully you'll be enjoying it, as Dennis and I are. We both wish you well. See you on the golf course and on the snooker table very shortly.
Must be very tight as to whether the black pot's here. We'll find out very shortly. It looks as if he's playing back for blue or possibly pink if it goes.
7.
Obviously the black didn't pot, as you can see. It's very tight there. It might sneak in the left side of the pocket, but too risky.
Probably noticed that he had to cue down on that and almost bounce the cue ball into the blue just to widen the angle. He was just off straight there and managed to get that cue ball some 2.5, 3 feet down the table, purely because he kind of cued down on it and just threw the white off line. When you see amateurs play that in their clubs, they tend to hit the object ball thin when playing that, so it's a shot you have to practice. Here's the angle he has on the blue look, and just keep it kind of just cues down on it slightly just to force that angle wide, then a little bit of side look to bring it further down the table. It's a great shot to practice that. That's a clever shot. That's possibly given him the chance to win the frame at this visit. Excellent shot.
20. Okay. 21. 27.
Well, having won the first frame, Maguire's confidence will be very high, and he knows that this is a chance of a frame-winning proportion here, and he'll be disappointed not to win it. You'd expect him to score 60 plus from here, so it could be 2-0 Maguire very shortly.
$35.
I think any match, it's all about the early frames, isn't it? And I go back to that UK final. Stephen Maguire was playing superbly well throughout, but he just didn't get started against Ronnie, and Ronnie walked away with it. As I say, it's a different match, and it's the player that gets off to a good start that gets the momentum. And he certainly had a good start with that opening frame.
Yes, it just shows you how good O'Sullivan is. These two have met on 11 occasions, Ronnie winning 9 of the 11. And when you think of somebody of Maguire's class, it just shows you how good O'Sullivan is to have won 9 of 11 meetings.
$36.
Just got to be a little bit careful now with the balk colours. A couple of reds he can play to get on, but he's got to make sure he misses the cannon on the brown, and green or yellow depending on which way he goes. He's got to go between either, so he's got to be careful here. That looks to be pretty good. Well, it's picked up pace with all the side on it. And is it running a little bit too far?
41.
This wasn't the red he intended, to be honest. The one just to the right of his cue there.
$42.
So he's got to play the same shot again. I'm sure he'll judge it a bit better this time. It's virtually the same shot in between the yellow and brown, with left hand side to leave the red that's to the right of the pink. He's got into it too much this time. It's amazing he's overcompensated this time.
47.
Just a safety, I feel.
Yes, a bit disappointed Stephen will be with that, because it's a relatively straightforward shot that Stephen played, and we saw the cue ball go very, very close to the yellow. He actually wanted to go right in between yellow and brown, and that would have made the angle
Maguire,
perfect.
47.
Catching the brown means the safety for Maguire is a little easier than it would have been. But there's no straightforward safety shot. The two on the right hand side, you can play up and down off those in behind green and brown, but the double kiss would be on. Got to be very careful with the red coming on and off the cushion. It doesn't make contact with the white on the way back. Trying to get the white in behind green and brown. Well, he avoided the cannon, but not on the blue. But bit of good fortune there. He didn't play that very nicely, but it's okay. Thought for a second Ronnie was going to make contact with the blue. He's got a good white here. The red is obviously potable to the left of the pink, but there's just about enough room to go round the back of the two reds.
Yeah, I think, as you mentioned, Willie, you'd have to hit it absolutely spot on to get round the back of them and avoid the cannon, but it is a possibility if he pots it. Well,
Foul.
it was a possibility.
Ronnie O'Sullivan 4.
Now, at first glance, the way the red has cannoned the yellow there, he hasn't left anything easy for Ronnie. It's finished awkward. There is a pot on, but if that red had have cannoned the yellow full ball, it would have been a lot easier.
Yes, in playing the pot, he's got to be very careful to avoid the in-off in the middle pocket, because that's the natural angle the cue ball will be playing, because he'll be playing for one of the bought colours. In-off will be very close here. This is only 50-50. Not necessarily the pot, but the pot and position is only 50-50. Great shot, great kiss, and in decent position. Obviously not played a kiss the red, he's playing in between the red and the middle pocket, coming on off the cushion. But the kiss was a big, big bonus.
Six. Seven. $14.
A few moments ago we were saying that Maguire would be very disappointed not to go 2-0 in front.
15.
He's going to have to hope that the red to the left-hand side of the table is going to be his saving ball, but Ronnie, as we know, is the best player ever left-handed, when you consider his main hand is obviously right-handed. So any shot on the table is not really a problem for Ronnie.
22. $23. $28. $29.
Now the work starts. Angle on blue or black to be able to get onto that difficult red. He may leave the red in the balk area to the last red, because that's going to be the key ball.
34.
The one that's on the side cushion there. Half ball on the black is what he'd like to get here.
35.
You can drop in behind the red. Well, he miss-hit that, but it's okay. He can drop right in behind this for choice of middle pocket or corner pocket. But the angle he's got, I don't know whether he'll risk it. Going to go around the back of it. Needs a good kiss, and he's okay. It pots in the ball pocket,
42.
but just.
Now he's got a little bit of angle to work with here on the black, but I don't know if he can avoid the pink if he forces it. I think he might be able to. Yeah, he really did. I mean, that was almost straight. And look where he's got the cue ball.
50.
If it stayed straight, he'd play for the brown here. Just leave the white almost where the red is.
51.
Well, green will do. Easier to get on the yellow from the green from that position. Well, this, you
54.
have to say, is a Great frame for Ronnie O'Sullivan. Stephen Maguire
56.
looked odds on, going 2-0 in front.
Yes, you would have to say Ronnie was favourite to win the first frame. He lost it. Maguire
59.
definitely favourite to win this frame. Looks like he's going to lose it. So either player would feel that they could have been 2-0 in front. Certainly Maguire should have been 2-0 in front.
63. $68.
Maguire, I'm sure, is possibly going to stay in his
frame.
seat, and he has a frame that certainly Maguire should have definitely won. He made 47, broke down. O'Sullivan replied with 68 to level the match at 1 frame all. And there's a key point in the game there, Dennis, where Maguire was in the balls, he was perfect on the blue, and you suggested playing a shot in between the baulk colours, and he didn't play it well.
He had 2 goes at it because the previous attempt he didn't quite. He managed to get but this was the shot here that he had. So he was trying to pot the blue, get in between the brown and the yellow, but he got too close to the yellow. He's trying to get on the red to the right of the pink, and this was his second go at it, and he overcompensated this time. Watch the white with the left-hand side, and he just took it across the table too far, and then he was left with a safety shot. But that was the key shot.
Yeah, and I think I mentioned in commentary, then you've got to. This is a Hawkeye where we've got the pleasure of showing you Hawkeye. He needs to go smack in the middle of the yellow and brown, as Hawkeye is showing you there. In fairness, he's played that 1 cushion, whereas we would have suggested playing it 2 cushions. But that's the red he should have played for. But I'd have played it with a little bit more side, played 2 cushions rather than 1. But that's the general idea. But the match is evenly poised, and both players now have had their hand on the table, both scoring, both have
Back in the
had
third
decent
frame.
sized breaks.
Ronnie
So
O'Sullivan
we
to
could be
break.
in for a cracker here. Having watched the match this morning and the match already this afternoon, players are struggling to break off for some unknown reason. I.e., what I mean to say, they're always leaving this long shot to nothing. Surprised that Stephen missed that. It's amazing how tables break off different, Dennis, isn't it?
It's just the slide of the cushions, isn't it? Sometimes it's easy to get over behind the green and tight on the cushion. Other tables you just can't quite get the white there. That's very good from Stephen Maguire. He's blocked off a lot of the avenues for the safety shot for Ronnie. He was just looking there to see if he possibly took this long pot on, could he finish on the black, and what he was looking at is what he would leave if he did miss the pot. He felt as if he could take it as a shot to nothing there, but he didn't intend to double kiss it. He could quite easily have left it on there, but everything's safe. I think the crowd are going to really get behind this one. I just hope we've got a good close match here, really. You can't beat Scotland versus England at Wembley.
If Maguire will run off with the table. Was it the Scots who ran off with the goalpost all those years ago? Just looking at the potting angle here, this is great taking this on as if you hit it thin, but if you hit it thick it can make you look very silly because you're cannon into the red, so it's alright. But when you play this shot, always play it almost too thin. Well, unfortunately far too thin. He was so worried there about cannon into the red, you see, and that's why he overcut it, but he didn't mean to do it that bad. Ronnie would love to pot this red and go into the bunch, but I think the red to the right of the black is stopping him doing that. Played with a lot of check side to avoid the pat, but needs a good pot on the blue. It's not a bad kiss actually, it's turned out okay.
Six. Seven.
I suppose a lot of people at home watching this Masters here would be wondering how come the two finalists in the UK Championship have drawn each other in the first round. Well, Stephen Maguire was out of the top 8. He's number 10 in the world, and that's why they come together so soon. But what a mouth-watering match when you think we're looking at the provisional number 1 in the world and the provisional number 2. Ronnie back at that number 1 spot, Stephen Maguire provisionally 2.
Yeah, the rankings are getting very, very close at the moment. I mean, Shaun Murphy got to the semi-final of the last tournament, went into it provisionally number 1, got to the semi-final and came out of it provisionally number 3. Tough score, isn't it? And obviously there must be a gap here. I don't know whether he's hit it hard enough to get onto that red. Goes without saying until he gets the
17.
reds around the black spot cleared. This is a tough chance at the moment. The fact that the pink's gone on that spot, it makes it easier to play a little cannon if he gets the right angle here. Yes, it was always going to be hard work, wasn't it?
Ronnie Sullivan 17.
Oh, I think he may have got away with this.
Yes, the only possible pot looks like a plant, so he's... Well, you can see the white and the red bouncing around a little bit there. He's got away with it. Stephen back looking at the possibility of making the plant, but I wouldn't blame him for taking it on because it would be a shot to nothing, but he's back just with a straightforward guaranteed safety shot. Got to be a little bit careful here, Ronnie. If he gets a thick contact on the safety shot, he could open the bunch and send one towards the left corner pocket. So that's the reason he played the single red, but even that he's pushed towards the corner pocket.
This is where the top players are usually very good here. They tend to play for blue or baulk colour, keeping the white in play rather than play the white into the baulk area. A lot of players play shot to nothing sometimes and you get no advantage. So it's key to keep the white at this end of the table. That's why it flew off that second cushion. Goodness me, that took off. That's not his fault. That cue ball would have stayed 2 feet further up this end of the table bar for the bounce off the cushion. You know, that's the reason I was saying some players play it like that as a shot to nothing. But that cushion here is fine, but this cushion, that's where it took off. It made 3 feet difference to where the cue ball would have finished. That's the table, not him.
Stephen Maguire 1.
But he's played a clever little shot there. He's blocked the path off the left side of the table into the bunch because of the couple of loose reds the other side. That's why Ronnie's got to be careful with his escape here. He could quite easily leave a pot on if he just comes off the side cushion, nestles into them. He would leave one on for the right corner. And he's looking at an exhibition type shot to land in the left side of the reds. Just have a watch at this one. 1, 2, 3, 4 cushions.
Foul and a miss.
Misjudged.
Stephen Maguire 4.
Might have it put back again. It's an awkward little shot that he's trying here. He's got to get so close to the middle pocket. That's what he was looking at. That looks like the mark of Zorro there on your table, but that's the sort of shot he was looking at there. And the white should be in behind the yellow. I've got it in behind the green, but change of plan.
Foul and a miss.
I think your shot's the best choice, Dennis. The way Ronnie's played that, he can easily leave a pot on that way. It's a shot that is on these tables, and the tables are fast enough to play them slow, you know. Just wonder whether he's going to play the swerve again. He is playing the swerve. I think if he hits this red, he's leaving the red in the middle pocket. I don't see the advantage here playing it this way. If he hits the red full ball, he's leaving the red in the middle. Hampered cueing though. May have slightly got away with it.
One.
As it turned out, what a nice little gap that was. Still a good pot though.
Well, he's reluctant to play blue into the bunch, and I think there's a bit of advantage just purely because he may free the pink away from the black as well playing this shot. There's a 3-ball plant that may move the pink out of the way and obviously open the reds at the same time. Didn't quite hit it as hard as I thought he would, but is he on anything?
Yeah, I think the red passes the other one and he can
6.
possibly get himself onto the pink. Played a full ball cannon onto the reds there, but he's got a bit of angle. As you can see, the black doesn't go, but he can leave the pink onto the same pocket here.
Seven.
The 3 reds that are just above the pink. I don't know if he can cannon the middle one there. If he can, that would be perfect. And he didn't quite get the cannon as he intended. Is he okay? Now the pink. You see, he did get the thinnest of contacts, a little thicker, and it would have been absolutely spot on. Arian Williams, our referee, has got to find the nearest point to the pink spot there, directly behind it, and align with the black spot and the back cushion. Got it in line, then he'll just push it towards the red. So he's okay. He's got choice of reds here. The pink goes in the left corner pocket. He did have a look at that previously, and it's quite straightforward to get on the blues. So he's in pretty good shape here.
$14. $20. $21.
Now he's got them in a position, as in the previous frame, where you would expect him to win the frame. He didn't win the previous frame. He'll be horrified if he doesn't win this one from here. Very good break builder, Stephen Maguire. One of 20 or so players that have made over 100 competitive centuries. So usually in this kind of position he's very, very proficient in that department and scores heavily.
$36. $37.
It's one of those situations where you're reluctant. You don't have to play a cannon because you know things can go slightly wrong. They're all
44.
nicely placed here, so you want to clear them up without having to take the risk of playing a nudge onto another ball. But it's building up very nicely, this match. Ronnie Sullivan had a break of 48 in the opening frame,
45.
and then Stephen Maguire had a 56. It was the reverse in the second frame. Stephen had a 47 and Ronnie had a 68 break to clinch that frame. So both players in good form.
$51.
43 points in front, so 2 reds, 2 colours. Get him 2-1 in front.
52.
The black obviously puts him in a position where O'Sullivan needs snookers, but one more red will leave O'Sullivan sitting in his chair regardless of whether he missed the next ball. So almost guaranteed if the black goes in, it's going to be a frame over.
$59. $60.
He really is a very tough competitor, Stephen Maguire. And he has the character to put that 10-2 final in the UK Championship at the back of his mind, and he's proving that here.
67. '68.
Just lost his way for a season and a bit, but he's back at his best now. It's nice to see it. Great player to watch.
'75. '76. '83.
Well, this packed 1,800
'85.
crowd certainly enjoying this. I did mention if you produce the snooker on the table, you will gain their respect.
88.
Okay, they may have the favourites here in London. Ronnie O'Sullivan, well, he's a favourite anywhere in the world, but if you produce the goods, they'll respond to you.
'92.
And this would be his 114th century break in his career that started in 1999. And if he does get the
97.
century, he'll certainly get a terrific round of applause from this very appreciative crowd.
103.
Okay, the black doesn't go in, but what a terrific century break from Stephen Maguire. A prolonged round of applause. That takes him into the lead, 2 frames to 1.
I think I'm quite a heavy scorer, so when I get in, I try my hardest to stay at the table and to clear all the balls in one visit. And if I'm playing well, I'm usually quite good at that. My temperament lets me down a lot. Sometimes I can hold it in and go through the motions, but other times I'll admit I lose the plot, and it's cost me a lot of matches through the years. I don't know really how to work on it. Sometimes I actually feel better when I do actually, like starting a cue or just give a table a whack, and then it's out of my mind, and then I can actually concentrate in the game. So I don't know if it's actually better for me to let it out, or I mean, it doesn't look good, I know that, but if it helps me play better, or it helps me actually win the match, then I'll do it.
Well, Stephen Maguire has played against Ronnie O'Sullivan 11 times in ranking events. At the moment, it's 9-2 to Ronnie, but Stephen's put him a big fight here today, JP.
Yeah, he looks good. He looks in decent form, and as I say, it is ironic. One of the 1 and 2 in the world currently provisional on the rankings, playing each other in a first round match at the Masters, and they've won the last 2 tournaments, haven't they? Ronnie won the UK, and then Stephen won the Northern Ireland Trophy before that. So they're obviously the form horses, and Stephen was certainly hitting the ball well in the Northern Ireland thing. So he's got to put the UK to the back of his mind and come here and say, well, I've played well against Ronnie before, and I can beat him if I play at my best.
Fine century break from Stephen Maguire there, Steve, but Ronnie wouldn't be too concerned at this stage.
No, not at all. But if he obviously felt that he was coming here to, well, he wouldn't have done, but if he ever thought he was in for an easy battle just on the strength of what happened the last time out, it would be a fool to do that. I know full well that you go into a new tournament like this, you know against a player of Steve Maguire's ability that you've got to fight for every chance you get. And what is impressive about Steve Maguire is he's very gritty, determined, apart from having loads and loads of ability. Very, very big, powerful break builder, and a player that can cause a lot of damage to somebody on his day. Hence the fact he's 2 in the world. So even though perhaps the betting has meant that it looks like Ronnie O'Sullivan big favourite, it's not as clear cut as that.
And it's good to see as well that the defeat in the UK Championship final at the moment doesn't seem to have left too serious a scar on him.
No, well, as I say, today is another day, and that's the way you've got to think about it. Obviously, if you win that, you think, oh, that's great. You look at it the other way. You try and be a positive aspect on anything you can do. But for Stephen's point of view, I'd just say, well, that was then. This is now.
Okay, well, let's get back to the action. Maguire leads 2-1 into frame 4. Here's Willie and Dennis.
Well, the break-off wasn't great, but I think he may have covered the red in the middle with the brown. The red very rarely comes past the line of the middle pockets. It has done this time, but as you can see on that camera angle there, the red is not available. So the tempter's on. The middle one of the three you can just about see, I think, on the left-hand side. Can he get through to the potting angle?
Well, I'm in line with it, Willie. It looks pretty tight, that one. Might be able to show you it. I don't think he can get past the yellow to the potting angle. He's having a long, hard look. Well, maybe he just about can, or is he playing it with the trace aside? He did, but it's just a safety shot. You could see how he bent it around the yellow there.
Yes, the match has been dictated really by Stephen Maguire thus far, because Ronnie's shot time is up at 21 seconds, and we know that when he's got things going his own way, he's usually about 14-15 seconds average shot time. So Maguire's done well here. He's got the game being played at his pace, so that's something Ronnie will have to work on in the interval.
What a terrific double. And look at this, you can nudge the other red out of the way and open things up around the black spot area. Always worth risking a double when you're not going to leave anything and you know you're going to be on the colour. And he judged it to perfection. Although it's the best of 11, the interval will be after 4 frames, and what a good chance to score quite a few here early on in this 4th frame.
$16.
I don't think Ronnie thought he would leave any sort of chance, but that double was played to perfection.
Yes, and the added bonus, of course, was, as you mentioned, Dennis, he had the angle to flick the other red into play, so he may even go into the bunch here as well. This is a good chance to score heavily if this works. Just needs to catch the one on the left. Well, 3/4 ball. Doesn't want to hit the middle of the 3 reds or they'll stick on them. Doesn't look like he's playing the cannon this time. You know, I'm not saying he should go into them because there's still 2 or 3 loose reds to play for. But some players may have gone into them there.
24. $25.
Yeah, he'll go into the pink off the blue, you would feel. There's still 2 loose reds, but he needs them open up now, and it was just depends how the player feels, doesn't it, Willie? Some would have played the shot you suggested. Stephen prefers to go from the blue, and I suppose not a bad choice. It just depends how you feel at that particular time. How's your luck? That looks pretty good to me.
30.
Absolutely spot on.
$31.
You notice there's different paces of playing that kind of shot. When it's early on in a frame and there's some 13 reds in the bunch, you obviously hit them a little bit harder. The fact that he only had a group of 8 or 9 reds there, that's the reason he played a delicate screw into the bunch.
38.
So these are all the kind of things you've got to learn in break building, the different pace of shots you play.
$39.
Well, Hunter hit that one. Ideally, he'd like to kiss the left of the 3 above the black to hold, but I don't know whether he can hit the black thick enough to get into that. There's a chance of playing in and out of balk in between yellow and brown and playing on the red in the middle. There's a perfect angle there to play that shot. It's a natural angle to go in between yellow and brown off 2 cushions. So he's queuing low. Still don't know whether he's playing the cannon on the 3 reds or the one in and out of baulk. In and out of baulk, in between yellow and brown, is the one he's decided on. Good shot, well played.
46. 47. 52. 53.
'Alan Hughes, who was our master of ceremonies for many years, used to introduce Stephen Maguire
60.
as on fire Stephen Maguire, and then it was dropped because he had a bad season and a half, and they dropped the on fire Stephen Maguire. But our new compere and MC, Rob Walker, introduced him, as you heard at the start of the show, as back on fire Stephen Maguire, you'd have to say, and he's proving that here.
Yes, and we had a glimpse of his pot success rate there. It's still at 98%, and we're in
61.
frame 4. Now, some people may say, OK, Ronnie O'Sullivan's not played at his best today, but that's the reason why, because Maguire's playing great. He's potted 79 out of 81 attempts at pots, and that is the reason he's leading, and possibly going into the interval leading 3-1.
$68. 69.
And this frame winning chance all off that terrific double that he pulled off when Ronnie thought everything was safe. Frame
76.
well and truly over now, as you can see.
77.
Looking at back-to-back centuries now. We just mentioned he made his 114th century in the previous frame. Chance now to get his 115th. He's got an angle on the outside of the, sorry, the middle red of the 3 that are off the cushion to move another red into play if he wants. But he's not taking that on, he's taking the other red. Oh, that's careless. What a shame. We fancied 2 centuries back-to-back, but Maguire weren't particularly worried going into the interval. He's dominated this session. He's made very good breaks of 56-47, 103 and 84, and leads by 3 frames to 1.